And that doesn't mean you can't have empathy for people who do end up there. Like, nobody wants to be in a bad place. You just have to figure out what it is that kind of pushes you in a direction that you don't necessarily want to be in. Linked to that is your thoughts. Your thoughts are such a big component of it. And it's not even just the ones that are going through your mind and you can do something about that. It's the ones you don't catch. Like, chances are, if you're sad for no reason, it's because you thought your way there. And I'm only telling you from experience because I've had it happen to me. Like, they move so fast. And that was eye-opening for me because every time I would try to think myself into happy thoughts or do affirmations, oh my gosh, meditation and affirmations, me and that did not mix at all. And honestly, there's studies that show that if you use affirmations to make yourself feel better, you'll feel worse. And it's because you don't believe what you're saying. So don't say it. Like, don't do that. I remember I used to say, like, I deserve the world and I'm going to have this and my future will look like that and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't believe a single bit of this. And it's hard because it's like, you have to get to the root of why you don't believe a single bit of it. And I remember like meditating on like the house I wanted to have, like picturing it in my head, the family, the husband I wanted and all these things, and the career I wanted. And I would get sad. And I granted, that's not an affirmation, but it was also an opening for me to get curious about my thoughts. And I discovered, like, the more I thought about it, I thought about all the ways that I held myself back. So like deep shame, like just shame, was the root of a lot of why I felt like I didn't deserve the things I had or the things that were coming to me, the things I wanted. Like, it was shame. And it's like, I don't think we realize how interconnected all of our emotions is. Just like anxiety and depression, like, kind of influence each other. Shame can cause either one of those, especially if it's deep enough, you know? And it's like, spirituality helped me because, especially with tarot and stuff, it poses questions that I would never ask myself. And it's specific to me. If you know what the cards are and what they mean, then you get to ask yourself and dig deep. But like I said, I don't really recommend doing affirmations if you don't believe it. If you don't believe it. I know sometimes now I'll do affirmations, but there, when I'm so deep in a meditative space, I don't feel like it's me talking. I watch the healthy thoughts come. And it's my own affirmations that I make up as I'm going, because I feel that grounded and that in my space to really know what it is that I want and what I believe is coming to me. It's such a thin line because it's like, how do you manifest something, or how do you affirm something that you already believe? Or you can do it. You can do it. And honestly, it's the best way to go. Don't say anything unless you feel it. So there's like that. Oh, yes. So my candle work. Oh God, I love a candle. God knows I love a candle. Oh, I probably fucked up my mascara. But I love candle work. I started out with one candle. I started using like prayer candles for the home. I need to go and find that company and get more candles like it. They burn very slow. I don't know. I forgot what the name of the company is. And them candles last forever. Forever. I found them at a thrift shop. I think I still got that candle. It's in storage. But enough about that. My use of candles were intuitive. And maybe, I don't know, I still want to get deeper into candle work. I started out with one, but now it's weird to me to not have more than one candle burning. Like, I have to have more than one candle burning. And then upon doing research, I learned that you should have more than one candle to burn. One, for lighting the way for spirits. Two, for you to do the work. The more candles, the better, I guess. I just like candles. Like, aside from even the spiritual work, I just like candles. There's something about its warmth. There's something about that dainty little bright but strong light. Like, small but strong light. I like candle work. And I definitely do it like when I do when I take baths and stuff. I do have things that have become everyday rituals. Like, usually when it's time for me to go to bed, I light all my candles. It brings me down. Like, it calms me in a way that I can't even explain. I like to just sit in my room, dark as hell, with low lights, no lamp on, just the candles. That's it. And I usually will have like what, one, two, like maybe six candles. And it's the little long tube ones. I'm not allowed to have candles in the house anymore. But anyway, the more I would do the rituals, the more I would meditate and use that time to explore my thoughts. And I would free journal sometimes too. I started using the Chani Nicholas app. And well, before she had an app, I would just buy her rituals for new moons, full moons, and stuff. And she would have some really good thought-provoking journal prompts that like literally probably saved my life. Because sometimes you don't always know the questions to ask yourself to get to the root of what you're doing. It's nice when you can find some kind of thing that can help you with it. And that was her information for me. So I would do a lot of her journal topics, her journal prompts, listen to her, her rituals for my rising sign. Some of them would be accurate, some of them not. You know what they say, take what you need, leave the rest. That's why you have to decipher what it is you needed to hear that day and what it is you didn't. And sometimes it's the cold, hard truth. And that's okay too. I think we run away from that sometimes. At least I did. There were some things I didn't want to see in my readings that I did, and that helped too. But I think what people forget is that even with all of that, you still have to restructure your brain. I feel like if you're sad for a long amount of time, it's even more work to get out of it. So I like to think about it like this. The longer you're in a depressive state, the stronger of a habit it is to break. That low-key rhyme, but I didn't mean for it to. No, I didn't rhyme. Kind of did. But I felt like part of it, once I got it together, was me trying to rewire my brain into thinking that I wasn't powerless. And because sometimes it'll just creep up on me. And there's things I've always wanted to do and projects I've always wanted to do. But because I've developed such a low self-esteem because of other things as well in my life, as well as that amount of time, that's when it really manifested. Like, I would abandon projects before they really come up. And to walk around with that kind of a cloud, like, it's easy to get stuck in that. That becomes a habit after a while. And if you want to break those kind of habits, you have to do the hard work. And that includes the journaling. That includes telling yourself the truth, so that you can create a different truth. That's what I'll say on that. My therapist really helped. I know I mentioned her earlier, but she kind of served as like the hermit for me, like a guide. Low-key, like a guide. And granted, I don't listen to everything people tell me. I ain't listen to everything she told me. You take what you need, you leave the rest. But she was always helpful when I had other questions about other things that would arise, especially about my spiritual awakening. She was the one that was actually able to point it out when I was describing all those strange things that was happening and how torn and like felt like I was at a crossroads. And we're going to talk about crossroads. Y'all need to learn about the crossroads. We're going to talk about that in another video as well. But yeah, and she was able to guide me through it. I can't imagine like really talking to anybody else about that kind of stuff. Over time, when I started like doing the work and coming across more journal topics and stuff. And then I started reading this book called The Language of Emotions that helped me to separate, you know, all my emotions into other things, and like decipher and begin to understand what my emotions were trying to tell me and what actions I needed to take relating to it, how to listen to it and accept it. That's another thing. Your bad emotions will just stick around if you don't acknowledge it. Like, if you're not happy, you're not happy. You're not happy. And that's just it. Don't try to make yourself happy. There have been so many times I tried to force it, and I'm just like, look so awkward in parties or gatherings that I was not ready to be at. Like, I was not ready to be at all. I'm in no way, I'm not a psychologist, so do what your therapist say if you know, got depression. But this is what worked for me. Sometimes I sat in it, and for as long as I needed to sit in it, until there were days where, you know, they were good. And I ran with those days. Like, if they were good, I didn't know, I took it for what it was, and I enjoyed that day.